Okay, everybody, back with the jet ski conversion kit and electric. I recorded about 30 minutes last night of a video, and I was really hoping that I could show you all that video because it had a lot of important stuff that I went through and showed you how I took this apart and did that. So I'm just going to walk you through everything this time because it was in 4K, and my YouTube won't let me. It takes a really long time. It took 2 days to get 10% done on the, almost 48 hours to get 10% of it done. So I deleted it and I'm starting over just to show you what happened since last time. Last time you seen it, I had the motor I did the motor mounts and I did the tensioner thing, but I don't think you got video of the tensioner. But I'm gonna show you what I did with everything because I had to reinforce some stuff, and I added some stuff since then. So starting off up front here, I added in this plug right here. So this way, if I pull up to a marina or dock or anything like that, I'll have my extension cord with me, and I can just keep that in the front hole. And I can open this up, plug in my plug. It's attached to the battery, and I can get some juice while I'm there if I'm eating for lunch or something. Right here is the charger that charges that 5 amps. Then, of course, I don't know if y'all seen this, but I'm gonna go over everything again. That's the bilge pump. It's got a check valve right here. That little tiny thing is a check valve, one way, closest you can to there. That's the battery. It's a self-serve battery just by itself. That way, if anything happens to the computer, electronics, or batteries inside this thing, the whole unit up front, in the back, this can still get that water out of there, so it's not damaging anything further. All right, moving on. I don't know if I talked about it, but I put a 12-volt USB there. This is the daytime one. It also has Bluetooth capability, speaker hookup, amplifier built in, so you can put speakers on the side and have speakers in there, all that good stuff. Key reverse, I'll tell you what the reverse, I think already if you have been watching this, I told you, basically you have to climb underneath the backside if you get stuff jammed in there, leaves and garbage and vegetation gets stuck in the bottom. You have to get up underneath there and pull it all out. Well, I've just designed it this way in theory. I haven't been able to try it yet because I haven't had it happen. But in theory, you flip this up, it puts it in reverse. It turns the impeller in reverse, sucking water in through the back and slamming it out the front. I tried it when I was in the water just out there, and it actually acts like a reverse because the water gets splashed out forward. So it's like a reverse on this thing already. Getting to the battery compartment, that's the battery. I have more foam that goes on top of it to close it in. This is the connectors I'm using for them. And I'm here soon going to have a plug-in for my charger where it just plugs into this wall, and then the other side has a plug going to the charger over there. Now I have to have this open whenever I'm charging it though. Going over here, since last time I put this tensioner on, cut the guard up, put a big nice thick tensioner on it, a good spring on there with a skateboard wheel tensioner, basically, to keep it to where this sucker doesn't jump chain and run away from me on me. If you've seen the last video when I showed y'all to test this thing and this thing running and turned on, it was moving. It was vroom, 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 vroom. It was still moving even though I took the rubber mounts off. So I added a brace that's bolted into the floor right there on that side, and one on this side is bolted into the floor. And it's unboltable, so that allows the front end of this thing to not tweak anymore. And since last time, let me drop this real quick. Sorry about that whole video thing there. But yeah, so I moved this from here because it was hitting this wall and I couldn't open the door as far. So I moved it over to here. So now when I open it, I can open the door freely and don't have to worry about hitting anything. And I can open it up really, really, really far, allowing me to get the battery in and out of here easily. Before it was, just spacking back there and I couldn't get it open. Now it's giving me more room to open it. And for the time being, I just use this bungee cord I keep with me, and that keeps the lid open. So that way I can, if this battery dies and I'm having too much fun out there with that battery and I kill it somehow on 3.5 hours of riding, And that's full throttle one too, at full throttle at 3.5 hours. So I get probably about 4.5 if I would go slow or put it on eco mode, economy and stuff. So, but anyways, getting back to that, this makes it easy to pull it in and out. And the reason why I did that is because I have 3 of these batteries. That gives me a total of almost 9 hours, more than 9 hours worth of riding. So for those of you that think electric's bad, yeah, it's bad in some cases in cars and stuff, because the batteries they're using can explode and all that stuff. They're dangerous. These batteries are a little bit more safer. Well, actually, a lot more safer. They do explode if they arc off, but as far as I know, they don't blow up like the other ones do. Again, as you can see here, I know I'm jumping to another thing from one thing to another, but I added that space between there again, just like I had before, so that way that can stay cool. Recently, I got a clean filter system here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add that in this line before the T. That way it still spits out water out that little tiny hole over there through filtered water. And this is gonna come from the jet, go up, go into the motor. That way I can screen it and get all the trash and sand or anything, dirt or anything that happens to go up through this. It will not go in the motor and sit in the bottom of the water jacket. Because sand is heavy and it will sit in the bottom of the motor jacket and it will fill up this motor jacket. And before you know it, you got this little tiny line that goes through where the water's been peeing through, and it's not allowing water to circulate around the whole thing. So that's not from experience, that's just common knowledge. So in my brain it is, some people it isn't, but in my brain it is. So I want to install this here, so that way I have the water flow flowing through. I can catch all my sand particles, I can take that stuff out, I can clean it out, put it back on, and that way this motor does not fill up with sand, dirt, and trash and particles or whatever that gets chopped up and forced through with the impeller. So that's what I've gotten done so far on it, and I'm going to be going out, I think tomorrow or the next day, to go ahead and test this theory with this new tensioner, see if that tensioner works. If y'all have any ideas or a way for me to do things differently, please let me know. Leave it in the comments. I did put this on this side because this chain does move like this, so it goes like that, and this side straight up and down on that side of the chain. This side has a curve in it with the tensioner on it because it turns this way. It goes this way when it turns, so it's pulling tension this way. So I assumed, I'm not for sure, but I assumed that this should be the straight side of the chain and this should be the curled side of the chain. So I put the tensioner over here instead of putting it on that side. We'll see if that's correct or not, because I've not done this before. But so I'm going to connect this plug here and show you how loud it is when I turn it on. So let's see here. It hasn't been connected in a while, so it's going to make a nice pow. So if you got earphones on, I'm sorry. Here it goes. A lot of voltage going through that little tiny wire, those connections. And yes, I said tiny because these are 50 amp connectors and this is 100 BMS continuous, 100 amp continuous. These are 50 amp connectors. They will work, but they will eventually burn out, get chased by a yellow jacket. But anyways, they will burn up and wear out. I haven't had to replace any of them, but the 100 amp ones are like, whoa, they're so much bigger. So here's perspective. My finger against this one here, 50 amp, and I've got 100 amp over here. Here's one of my extra batteries, 100 amp. Look at the difference in it. So that's a 100 amp one there, and the one that I'm using is a 50 amp. And there's a reason why I'm doing it that way and not using the 100 amp. Big, huge cable connection, and I don't see any point in having a 100 amp connection when the wires are only this big anyways. The wires coming off the battery are small. So why should I take this small wire and put in a giant connection? So I don't know. If I'm doing that wrong, please let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll change it or something. And I'll get some knowledge from y'all at the same time. So yeah, so this is what I've got so far. Yeah, I welded this, attack this on, so that way I can put springs on it at whatever strength I want to pull them on to have them pulling against that right there. Hey, you know what? Let's turn it on since I plugged it in. And I'll show you what it sounds like. So that's the new thing there. That's the daytime one. That way you can see it in the daytime. And here's the cool thing. When you turn the lights on, watch what happens. Nighttime. So when you turn the headlights on, it goes from daytime to nighttime on there, which is, I think, is awesome because it gives you that sun won't blind that out, and at nighttime it don't blind you. But anyways, yeah, it's already on. That's how quiet it is. It don't sit there and idle and make noises like a regular motor. But all right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start her up a little bit. So yeah, it's loud. Do it too much because I don't have water going through the impeller, and that's just going to tear my impeller up, running friction against friction with metal against metal, even though it does have bearings on each side of it. But anyways, all right, well, that's it for that. I just wanted to show you what it was about and what I did to it so far. So there you go. I'll test it out and I'll try to get a video of it so y'all can see what's going on and see how it reacts. Have a good one. Like and subscribe if you like this video. Thank you.